Hey y'all, Steve Ritter here again. Gonna try a little something new today. I'm gonna cook some Flammkuchen. This was a particular dish. I made this back in 2013. At the time we were stationed at Stuttgart, Germany. I was at Headquarters European Command. And we traveled quite a bit while we were over there. And one of the places we went was the Alsace-Lorraine region of France. And interesting enough, there's a lot of history there, but that place changed back and forth quite a bit. So one of the local dishes in that area, in the Baden-Württemberg area, the Rhineland Falls area, is Flammkuchen, which roughly translates to flame, what? Flame cake, is that right, Bella? Something like that. It's the French also call it tarte flambe. So it's in the French it's tarte flambe, German it's Flammkuchen. It's basically a German-style pizza, not made with tomato sauce, which we'll see all the ingredients together. First thing I'm going to do, and you can look down below. I'll have the recipe and the directions, and also a link to my mother made it back in 2013. She tried it. We're going to do a couple of little different variations, bring it a little bit closer, true to the way they make it over there in Europe, the way we had it when we were over there. So. First thing what I can do is start with the dough, and we'll do a lot of cutting in and out here as we go, because it takes a little bit of time. We got to make the dough, we're going to let it rise, and then we'll separate it, and I'll give you some pointers along the way. First thing I'm going to do is I've got 2 cups of bread flour in here, and then I'm going to add to that is a half teaspoon of salt. I'm going to mix that in, okay, and I'm going to just kind of stir this around. Don't need to sift the flour. I just bought this flour today. So it's just regular old bread flour. I guess you could use some general all-purpose flour. Don't believe I would use self-rising flour, because really you're not looking for a thick crust. It's really when you get through with it, you're gonna go with a thin crust. But we are gonna put a little yeast in it, because I don't want a cracker. That wouldn't be good. It's like eating a German pizza cracker. Nobody wants that, but it is a thin crust if you like thin crust. So I've got that. I also want to put in a teaspoon of olive oil. So I'm going to put that in here. It's nice and slow. It's like molasses, isn't it? Look at us pouring slow. Anticipation. All right, so there's a teaspoon of olive oil. We'll put that in. A little extra dab. There we go. How much is a dab? A little bit more than a whatnot. All right. Now, in my mother's recipe, she talks about having a 1/4 teaspoon of yeast, which is what I did. I went ahead and she says a 2/3 of a cup of warm water. Now, what I did, I went ahead and I put the yeast in and I proofed it, just a little touch of sugar. And then I put the yeast in the warm water, mixed it up, and let it sit for a little bit. You can see it smells like yeasty bread, like it's activating. Okay, so I've got 2/3 a cup, and then I've got a little bit more water here just in case. You never can tell with flour, just like Mom said. I'm gonna just pour that right in with the yeast and the water, and then I'm gonna just have to use my hands here and just kind of stir this up. We're looking for just a nice soft dough. Just kind of work this in. Just keep scraping this up. Yeah, so like I was saying, the Alsace-Lorraine region of France, I'm a little bit of a history nut. So part of France until the 1870 Franco-Prussian War. The Germans came in and basically cleaned up, battled Sedan, captured Paris, basically humbled the French, and they came in and were pretty much dictating terms. They said, yeah, we're gonna take this region, and they ended up taking Alsace-Lorraine. The Germans held on to it until after World War I, and then part of the Treaty of Versailles, the French got that region back. So Alsace-Lorraine's been bouncing back and forth between France and Germany. Okay, so you see how this dough here, you see how it's a little drier than what I'm looking for. That's why we take a little bit of the extra water here. So we're looking for a soft dough. This is pretty, you see, this is pretty dry. I'm gonna just add a little bit of water. Again, just you kind of knead it all together. You don't want it sticky, but you also don't want it all coming apart like feathers, which is kind of what this was doing. So it's telling me I didn't have enough water. And you kind of knead it together, and it's easy to put too much water in, I've found. And just kind of push it in. I want to get all the flour up I can, and just kind of press it in. So we're kind of kneading it as we go here. And we have Bella on camera again, doing our fine camera work. And thank you all for your kind comments about how well she's doing shooting these movies. Makes her feel good. Fine job, Bella. Thanks. She's smiling now. You can say thank you. It's okay.
Thank you.
All right, so still just a touch dry. I'm gonna add just a little bit of water. Just a little bit, not too much. Now again, I don't want the dough sticky. And I'm gonna get all this up here. And if you add just a little too much water, and it comes out sticky, if it starts sticking to your hands and getting sticky, you can just kind of dust it a little bit with flour and work it that way. So I'm gonna keep kneading this and working it. And what I wanna do is kind of get this to a point where I'm gonna let it sit and rise for half hour or so. Let the yeast go to work here. We'll let it rise a little bit. So I've got a pretty good working dough here. Keep working it, keep kneading it, working everything in. And so I got a pretty good dough. Get it into a ball. I'll keep working this a little bit. I'm gonna set it aside for about a half hour or so, and then we'll come back and we'll roll it out and get to work on our Flammkuchen. Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. I let it rise. It ended up being about an hour or so. Let it rise just a little bit. It's really, don't worry if it doesn't rise up and punch it down. It's not like a bread that you need to, you want it real big. Again, you're just not looking for not having a cracker. So I took the bread that we had, I cut it in half, and I went ahead and rolled out half of it. This is gonna be for my wife and my daughter. So here's the bread. I just took some, I really like Mom's technique. Would take a little bit of wax paper and I floured it a little bit, mashed it out. Again, I want it to be as thin as possible on here without breaking. To get it thin. What I went ahead and did as well is I got a cookie sheet and I just put a little bit of Crisco on it. I've got that one, and this one's going to be for me, just a cast iron pizza pan. And again, I'll just put a little Crisco on it to keep it from sticking to it. When I'm done with this, I'm going to put it over on it and put it in the oven. I've got the oven, it's all preheated, 500 degrees. It's going to go in for about 10 minutes or so. I went ahead and cut up some onions. I got some purple onions. You can go with that. And these particular onions are especially pungent. So my wife had me cover them up a little bit because they were starting to get to her. So they're pretty strong. Also got some chives here. And we have a cut garden in on our front porch there, but these are chives, and I just cut those up. For meat, we're gonna use, I've got some prosciutto here that my wife, my daughter, and Bella, that's what they want. And then I've got some suppressa here, which is just uncured Italian salami. So that's gonna go on there for me. Now, once you get the dough as flat as you can get it, the next thing you're gonna put on, so this is basically the pizza sauce. This is called Creme Fraiche, okay? Now what this is, it's like sour cream. It's a French style cultured cream. It's like, I know some of my mom's video, she used some cottage cheese and she did some stuff with it, whatever. This is a little bit more like, they use the Creme Fraiche over there. So it's like sour cream, but it's got a higher butterfat content in it. I think sour cream's in the 20s. This one's like 32%. But it's more rich, and it's got It actually has kind of a nutty taste to it, just a little bit. That's what they say. But this is basically our pizza sauce. I'm just gonna take a spoon, just put a big dollop on here, and I'm gonna just put it and spread it out on here. And this, if you think about it, I mean, this is basically our pizza sauce. Put this on here, and then we'll put our toppings of choice on here, and then it's gonna go in the oven. So let me get this on here. Yeah, you have to, it's kind of hard to find the creme fraiche. If you have to, if you can't find it, and I had a hard time finding it here in Charleston. I had to go to a specialty store. What is it? What's that place called, Bella? What is it? Greenwise?
Greenwise?
Yeah. So I had to find one of those. I think probably Whole Foods might have creme fraiche. Now you probably can find a recipe for making homemade. I was doing a quick Google search earlier, and there actually are some recipes for making it. It's probably using sour cream with some other stuff, but you can make creme fraiche, or you could use sour cream. It's probably going to be a little bit more of a tangy taste or whatever, but just put enough on here, kind of keep about ½ inch away from the edge, except for right there where I got a little too close. That's about it. Bella, this is yours, right? So you want chives on here? Mm-hmm. All right, so I just sprinkle some chives around. These are like onions. They're pretty tasty. So, do you want onions too, Bella? The purple ones or not?
Sure.
A few?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got the chives on here. Put a few, just a few. How about that? Just to kind of. So this is actually, the bowl here has got about half a purple onion in it. So, and then you wanted prosciutto, so we'll put some of this on here. You could use ham, bacon. I think the actual, what they use over there is something called speck. I think they call it, the French, what they call it, lardon. Is that, it's kind of like uncured bacon, I believe. You can use that, but just kind of spread some around, and again, it'll bake up pretty quick because the dough's pretty thin, and it'll bake up real nice. So something like that. How's that look, Bella? All right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna put it on the pan. And then I'm gonna make the other one up for me. But then these are gonna go into the oven at 500 degrees, and you're talking 10 to 15 minutes. So check it at 10. What you're looking for is for the dough. You'll see the pizza dough will rise up. Well, it won't rise up, but it'll brown up pretty quick. So we'll go ahead. I'm gonna put this on one of the pans. I'm gonna go ahead and make up the other one, and then the next step we'll check back in and we'll see what they look like when they're done. Okay, so we made the one. I made the second pizza. We'll put them both in. Now, originally, Mom had said 10 to 15 minutes. Again, maybe the oven's different. Just at 10-minute points, really look and pay attention and start watching. 15 minutes, I'm still watching, so it actually got up. It was about 18 minutes. So probably, for most people, it's probably going to be about 15, 20 minutes, something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the oven off here. All right, this is the first one we made. See? So it's all done around the edges. You can see it's pretty crispy. Nice little tart flambe. This is the second one. This is going to be mine. I put that uncured salami on here. So that one's mine that I made. I made that one. So I'm going to take a little pizza cutter here. See if we can't cut this up some, but get at it here. Probably let it sit for a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
It's so hot, I'm afraid to touch it. Middle cut's nice. There we go. Got that. And we'll kind of cut this piece here. Guess you just got to commit. Huh? Is that it? There we go. You want to try a little bite? See what you think. Is it too hot for you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna add a nice little special treat here at the end of this video. This was a picture of me and the kids at a town called Colmar in Alsace-Lorraine. It's a nice little town. If you ever heard of Rick Steves, that's in his little book of places to see. Nice medieval French trading town. But this was us back in probably 2000, what do you think, 13? I think is when it was. I think Nathan was in school by that point. So, hope you enjoyed it. Let me know, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what you think and how it turns out for you. And we'll see you all next time.